It had been 2 months since their girls' trip to Mozambique. How do you tell your mom, your sister, even your friend, that at night, while you're in and out of sleep, you feel something come on to your bed? This isn't some childish, I'm imagining the plot to some nightmarish story. No, I mean for real. How do you tell the people closest to you that you feel something on your bed? You're not imagining it, you're not dreaming it, you feel it. You feel the heaviness of it next to you at times. You know it's there because you feel this discomfort, this fear that comes over you. You didn't go to bed feeling this fear. Now you're up and you're feeling fearful. That feeling that has you looking around the room because you're so sure you're not alone. Sometimes you even switch on the light because there's no other word to describe it. You're scared. You can hear your heart beat. You're scared. What do you begin to say? And that very thing that comes on your bed, it has sex with you in your dreams. Again, it's real. It's real. You know. It is real. The only thing is that you just don't have proof. And I know saying it out loud sounds crazy. I get it. I get it. And if Vuvu hadn't gone through this, if she hadn't been going through it, she too would not believe anybody telling her this. She didn't have the words. She didn't know what to say. So she said nothing at all. Instead, she drank. And she drank more just to balance it out, because inside what she was going through, to the outsider looking in, Vuvu was still Vuvu. Things were looking good. Her business was still growing. She was getting brand sponsorship. She was doing crazy collaborations. She looked on top of her game. On top of that, I mean, she's still this beautiful woman who guys are just so into. They want to take her out on dates. They want to be in her presence. But inside is a very different story. One day, while she was at her beauty bar, Cassandra walked in. Andile's Cassandra. And initially, Vuvu didn't see her. She was busy at the till making sure things were okay. But when she eventually spotted her, she didn't quite know how to react. Should she go over? Should she greet? Should she pretend she didn't see her? Does Cassandra know? There were so many things going through her mind, and she was feeling super awkward. When she noticed that Cassandra had a ring on her wedding ring finger, an engagement ring, she thought, okay, this means I can go over. Coast is clear. Clearly her and Andile have worked it out, and perhaps she really didn't know. And so she went over to greet. Cassandra knew everything. She's the one who told Lunga what had happened. Cassandra knew. The only reason she came into Vuvu's store is, truth be told, the nail tech that she loves, the nail tech that she's come to trust, the nail tech who really hooks her up, happens to be working at that store. But Cassandra knows. And as far as she's concerned, she has nothing to be ashamed of. It's Vuvu who should be ashamed. So she's going to come. Oh, and that ring is not from Andile. When she finishes doing her nails, Cassandra goes to the till, and her and Vuvu get to speaking, and Vuvu ends up giving her a gift bag just to thank her, with just goodies inside it to thank her for supporting her business. And I guess it was kind of also just that guilt. It was a guilt gift. She thanked her, and as she was about to walk out, she turned and looked at Vuvu and asked, "Are you okay?" And Vuvu said yes, but Cassandra could sense there was something not quite right with Vuvu. There was something off. Please don't get me wrong. She has no intentions of being Vuvu's friend, but Cassandra is not the type to kick you when you're down. Early that evening, on her way home, Vuvu pulls into the filling station. She ends up going into the convenience store so she can get a couple of snacks before she gets home. That's where she sees Mr. Kunene, her dad's friend. Now, for a moment, she stops before she walks over because she doesn't remember him looking this good. But again, that's your dad, her dad's friend. She greets him and he is more than happy to see her. I mean, the last time he saw Vuvu, she was really not this big. He wants to know everything, how your parents are, how she's been doing, what's going on. As she's talking to him, she notices his car in the car park, and that is a shiny new whip. But so is his wedding ring. They end up buying their things and heading out the store. That's when he asks her about her business. Like, tell me more about it. Your parents were telling me that you're in business now. You have a beauty store. How's all of that going? And she's more than happy to report that things are going good. Like, it's popping. Mr. Kinena asks for her number and tells her, listen, if I know of anybody, or just give me your number so that I can I can send customers your way, that type of thing. And so she gives it to him because the whole thing just seems so innocent. She gets home and pours herself a glass of wine and gets right into bed. She's not trying to do the shower thing. She just wants to get in bed and relax. And before long, she passes out. Now at about 10:30 at night, she wakes up to the sound of her TV going, and it gives her a bit of a fright. The first thing she does is pick up her phone to see what time is it, like how long have I been sleeping, at what point did I pass out, like what's going, when you're feeling a little disorientated, like how long have I been sleeping? That's when she sees a message. All it says is, "You're awake." No question mark. It's a statement. You're awake. It's from Mandinho. Vuvu panics. You know that feeling I told you about? The one she was feeling on the private plane back to Maputo? The feeling she was feeling when she was having flashbacks of the night they spent together? That anxious, uneasy feeling? It was back. And this time it felt more intense. Call it a panic attack, whatever you want, it was back, and Vuvu was not feeling comfortable. She needed to get out of there. She wanted to get out of there. Tonight, she does not want to be alone. This is too much. Mentally, emotionally, she's exhausted. She can't be there. She can't be at home. She needs to leave, and leave now. And so she grabs her sneakers, she grabs her bag and gets in her car and starts driving. She ends up making her way to her parents' house, and in the car, she's thinking of a reason to say why she's coming by so late. Now, of course, that's her parents' house. She doesn't need an excuse, but her mind is all over the show. And the last thing she wants to do is get into these panic attacks she's having. That's the last thing. She doesn't want to have this conversation. She just wants to go to a place where she feels safe and at peace. And so she pulls up. Now, when Vuvu's mother sees her, she is so happy that her child is there. Of course, she wants to know, what are you doing out so late? Why are you here so late? And Vuvu tells them she was in the neighborhood and she just missed them, so she was popping in to check if they were okay. Her mom bought it. And so they went to the kitchen and had tea, because it's always a good time for tea. They talked and they talked and they talked, and it got late. Now, yes, Vuvu's a grown woman. Yes, Vuvu lives in her own place. Yes, her mom doesn't know when she comes and goes. Yes, all of that. But from her house, she doesn't want her daughter leaving this late. And so she insists, Vuvu, please, my child, just for my own peace, sleep in your old room tonight. You can leave tomorrow if you want to, but I don't want you out on the road so late. And Vuvu agrees, because that's why she's here. After saying goodnight, Mrs. Gumete goes into her bedroom where her husband is. And she takes a moment to just gather herself. She's thinking. That's when she looks at him and she says, something's wrong with Vuvu. Now, he doesn't know what she's talking about. He came out to speak to her and she seems fine. I know my child. There's something wrong with her.